distinct honor today to introduce somebody that I honestly had a one-on-one with, and she plays softball. So that's a pretty athletic person, but she's very competitive. But what I love about her most is her passion to help other people succeed. And one of the gifts that she has, and she's going to share with you today, how many guys like to be free financial? That'd be cool. How many guys would like to work less and make more?
Yes.
She's got a maximization program that's going to knock their socks off. So, hey, please help me with a big round of applause.
Hey, you said in the back.
Round of applause. Again, way to the back, because you got to come running up here. All right. Big round of applause for Christi Garcia, financial advisor from LPL Financial. Hello.
LPL.
So, I'm going to ask for some help real quick right off the bat because I have a handout so you can kind of follow along, take notes, do whatever you like with it. There you go. Okay. Oh, wait, give me one of those back here. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, GNA. My name is Christi Garcia. I am a financial advisor. That's all I'll say about that. What I have here is it's called the science of time maximization. Okay, so what I want to first start off by saying is it is time maximization, not time management. Okay, time management is something that you have to manage on a regular basis, that you have to control, which we know that we can never really control. So what we do is we learn to maximize the small amount of time that we have during the day. Okay. One of the reasons, just a brief history of why I am so passionate about this is I started on this journey many years ago to start my own business, be in business for myself, because I wanted to be able to be home with my kids. I've got a 16-year-old boy and a 13-year-old boy right now, and my husband at home. So I wanted to be able to spend time with them, and when I started my business and I started going, I went full force. We're talking, 60, 70 hours a week, running and running and running. And then one day, after I don't know how many months, I went home, and my then 13-year-old called me out and said, Mom, you told us that you were going to do this so that you could be with us, and we never see you. And I thought, oh my God, my heart dropped, and my whole purpose for doing what I wanted to do was kind of blown out of the water. And so what I started on was a journey of finding out how I can maximize my time. We do, coming from a trading floor, there's certain hours of the day you've got to be able to work, you've got to be going, and certain hours of the day you can let go of. So, does everybody have the paper?
Yes.
I'm just going to start going through this. And, feel free to ask me a question as we're going along. It's interactive. If it's something where we have tends to be a topic of concern or discussion, we can talk about it a little bit after, okay? So, the first thing, it's been quoted by many people through generations, is if you think you can't do something, if you think you can do something, you're right, okay? And that's kind of talks about the goals, the mindset or philosophy of doing business, of living life. So we're going to go into, this really is a three-step process. It's very simple, it's very easy to do, it does take time. And remember, it is a process. This is not going to happen overnight. You're not going to receive results tomorrow. And I know you're not going to run home and do all this tonight, okay? But the first one is creating your own compelling vision statement. You can call it whatever you want, but it really is creating your goal and identifying where you want to go and what your life looks like, okay? This is putting yourself, you're writing this as if you were already there. You're writing it as if you could see it. The more detail you put into this, touch it, feel it, see it, hear it, smell it, anything that you can put into this helps out your motivation, okay? Because that's really what this is for. It's to motivate you when you feel like you don't want to get up in the morning, when you feel like it's just going to be a really crappy day, you read your mission statement and you remember why you do what you do. It's really important to know why you do what you do. And then you ask yourself, and this is something that I definitely do every single day, sometimes throughout the day. When I get busy and the whirlwind takes you away, because you've got emails and calls, and somebody needs this and somebody needs that, and your assistant didn't do this the right way, now you got to, that's all whirlwind, right? I ask myself, you just stop. Sometimes you can set a timer. There's a nice little tool for that. Set a timer to go off. But stop and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now part of my purpose? Right at this moment. If I'm on, because I am on Facebook a lot. And so if I'm on there and I'm just looking at other stuff, is that really helping my purpose? Or is that something I can do after hours, after business? You know? So know your statement. Know what your vision is. I have mine here. I've created mine. This is not a one-sentence summary. This is a full-on vision that you can reflect back to all the time. The next one is build your base, your foundation. Having a pool of prospects is the key. So that's kind of what we're doing when we're networking. We're getting out. We're building pipeline. We're building contacts. You know, I don't want to just know Paul, but I want to know all of Paul's friends. I want to know all of Paul's family. I want to know where he goes. Who does he socialize with? What does he like to do? You know, and build my pool by people who like me already. You know, they already like me. We already associate together. So those are generally going to be the people that I want to continue to work with through the rest of my career. So you have to have a foundation. These are, you know, they're in order. You can't go like straight down to the bottom one. You got to do these in order. So building a foundation. Pool of pipeline is contact-wise. You know, within 1 year, anybody have a guesstimate of how many people you should be talking to in 1 year? I mean, just talking to and having a conversation about what you do. Any idea?
50,000.
1,200 people a year. Okay, there's 365 days. How many days do you work in that year? Not 365. So 1,200 is a nice, I mean, there's statistics, there's all kinds of different reports, but 1,200 people a year is a very reasonable baseline to have. Okay, pipeline, that's going to give you enough people to call, contact, talk to, have coffee, whatever it is that you do in your business through every single day that you work. Okay. 80-20 rule, vital. Everybody know the 80-20 rule, right? Okay. So it's vital here. You don't want to be spending your time doing things that do not produce you any kind of income. We want to build our relationships, we want to do that, but when we are working, we're in the offices, bottom line, we need to be making money as well. So we need to be doing the things that are producing us income. 20% of your time, you can let it fly. You can do what you want. Make phone calls, talk, you know. I had a coach many years ago who said, when you're at work, work. When you're at home, be home. You know, and that, I mean, it's a good rule. I like it. Work systematically. So if you've never heard of the 23 rule, it's a systematic way to just work through your day. So it's about preparation. It's about putting 20 names on a list for you to contact the next day. Period. That's all the 20 is. 20 people that you want to talk to tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes, and you keep calling down that list till you talk to 3 of them. You just got to talk to 3. Okay? If you can talk to 3 of them, whoever you didn't get to talk to, leaving a message does not qualify as talking to them, okay? Emails do not qualify as talking to them. You know, we are in a business, we're in a society, in an area where relationships, key, touching people, talking to people is vital to our business. So talk to these people. You do 3 in a row, then you take a break. You go find something else to do. Once you hit 3. You come back to the list and you hit another 3. Okay? You do this for enough times, you'll find there's a pattern, there's a systematic way of doing it. You're going to get through your list, you're going to talk to your people, and chances are you'll probably talk to half of those people by the end of the week. And if that's a good ratio and a good turnout to talk about your pipeline, talking to people who are going to do business with you. Okay? Resources for building your statement. So I just put that on there as a resource. You can go to this one. There's many of them out there for building compelling mission statements. But I've done a lot of research, and this is a really good one, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You print out a book, answer questions, and then you create your own vision statement. They're lumped into a couple different areas, like what are you passionate about? Ron mentioned that. What do you enjoy doing? What's the most important thing to you in your life? And are you living in line with those morals? Are you living the life that's most important to you? I cannot tell you how much that changes things. So the second, any questions on that real quick? The first portion? Okay. So the second one is business by nature, a compilation of repeatable processes. So I'm sure many of us have felt like we have to reinvent the wheel every time we have a different client who's got a new set of issues or a new way that they need to do something. The reality is you can just have a template. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Repeatable processes. Okay, so when you go in from day 1 or day 58, you know what your process is and you can complete it. You can complete it from start to finish without pulling your hair out. So the first step to that is knowing what your primary basic needs are for you to run your business. Okay, and when I say primary basic needs, I don't mean, oh, I need to call so-and-so and I need to return an email and I need to return a voicemail that somebody left me. Those are not your primary basic needs for running your business. Those are the whirlwinds and those are all responses. Responses to what you're doing. We're talking about, well, what do you need to function every day? You got to go open the door. If you have an office, right? My primary need is I have to have coffee in the morning. It's a need. It goes on my needs list. I'm sorry. I don't do the tea. I don't do anything else. I have to have a cup of coffee before I talk to anyone in the day. Okay? I'm sure there's lots of us out there. Okay? But we forget, right? So look at what your needs are. What do you need to do? You have to talk to people, right? I mean, you have to meet people. That is a primary need for you. You've got to make phone calls and follow up with people. You know, you have to do presentations to people. You have to close deals. You've got to network. You've got to open the doors. You've got to know what your primary basic needs are for you to function as a business. The rest of it, we can delegate, we can find, we can, develop as time goes on. So, and how we do that, we time block. It's an age-old thing. I was never, ever, ever any good at it. I hated time blocking. But the reason I hated was because I could never stick with it. I never stuck with time blocking. So I just do some large time blocks and say, okay, as long as I get it done somewhere in that time, I'm okay. And that helped. It did help because it was a starting point. I realized what my weakness was. I worked on it and I got better at it. Okay? But what it allowed me to do was to see where my patterns were. I work most effective at 8 o'clock to about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I always thought that I was never a morning person because I got to have coffee first, right? But my most effective phone calls, conversations, and appointments are from 8 to 10 in the morning. So what do I know to do for me to be efficient? Schedule them then. That's it. Get them done. Get it over with. Anybody ever heard of a book called Eat That Frog?
Yes.
Right, Tracy, right? If you don't have this book, check it out. It's a really easy read, a day or two, depends on how you read. But, I mean, it's a really, really easy read. It's not, it's not going to change everything about what you do, but it kind of puts things in perspective. About what you should do. So time block. See what your patterns are. See when you work most effectively and then maximize that crap out of that time. Get as much done as you can during those hours. Because my time frame is 3 o'clock and I'm done. I'm on shutdown mode at 3 p.m. I know it. I don't even try to schedule anything after that. Okay. Use contact record management system. Anybody here use a CRM? Contact manager, okay? If you're not using one, find one. There's lots of free ones that you can try out there. I personally use Salesforce. It's not a plug for them or anything. But you've got to do it. You've got to know what you're doing on a regular basis. Follow it. If you're following up, you should have some kind of contact system. If it's not in place, get one in place. You put your tasks in there, your projects, your emails, your clients, your vendors, your partners, people you're doing workshops with, speaking events, anything, networking events, you campaign them together so you know who you met, where you met, and when you met them. When you're building up 1,200 people a year, you want to remember these people. You don't want them to get lost in the whirlwind. Appointments. So everybody have appointments here? Presentations, appointments, right, with clients, with other vendors. Create a template. It's really easy to do. You know what you do in your appointment. You know by nature, by having enough appointments, you know what you do. Create a template. And remember that it is just a template. It can be tweaked, it can be changed, it can be modified for whatever kind of appointment you're having, but create one so that you're not reinventing the wheel every single time you have an appointment. Clients are unique, situations are unique, appointments can be driven from a base, from a foundation, okay? And have not just one, but a couple different templates that you pull from depending on what type of client you're working with. Keep it simple, create your SOPs, standard operating procedures. Okay, everybody should have a book of this. If you don't, get one started, get it going, and work through each process. So as you're doing something, start creating your SOP, okay? Don't sit and try and do it after your project is done. You will forget, you'll lose it, you won't write it down, you won't record it, and it'll get lost until the next time you've got to do it again. So create the system as you're going through it. Also, and this helps with, the maximization comes from not getting distracted from the whirlwind, right? We know when we walk in the office or we walk into your home office, if you're working from home, you know there's a set list of things that you got to get done today. If you've prepped the last night, okay, you know that there's certain things that you got to get done. So as things are coming in, write them down on a pad of paper. Okay, it's the easiest tool that nobody ever tells you about. Put it down on a piece of paper. Don't go to it right now. Wait until you have your open block of time, or you're taking a break, or you have the time block to return phone calls. Okay, just write it down on a pad of paper and get to it when you're supposed to get to it. Don't let that consume your most effective time. Okay. Someone coming into your business should be able to pick up your binder, your file, whatever it is, and run your business like you are not there. That is an effective, efficient, productive business. If somebody can walk in and do what needs to be done without you even being there. Anybody want to take more vacations? Anybody afraid to take a vacation because the business won't get done, or something will happen while they're gone, or somebody can never handle it like we handle it, right? Create your systems so that it can. This is about freedom. It's about freedom. And I'm sure if you're anything like I am, the whole purpose of getting into business was so that I could be financially free and I had more time to do the things that I want to do. But if we're stuck in the rut, we never will. Okay. Any questions on that? All right. Third piece of that is be consistent even when it hurts. This is probably the hardest. The hardest part of any of it is to be consistent, okay? And consistent in the beginning for you might be 30 days. It might just be a month. Try this out for a month, see if it works. If it doesn't work, how can I tweak it? What can I abandon? What works for me? What doesn't? And move on. For one, don't beat yourself up about it if it doesn't work for you. But don't give up trying to find something that does, okay? Keep on looking. So prioritize. 6 most, 1 vital. This is, I've heard this many different places. I've heard it most recently at another advisor seminar, but this is preparation, okay? So can everybody agree that you have to be prepared for your day? Okay. Anybody not prepared? Me? All right, okay. So, I mean, we definitely don't prepare all the time, 100% of the time, but what a difference it would make if we did. Okay, so part of this, prioritize your 6. Your 6 most are the 6 most important things that you have to get done tomorrow. Not today, tomorrow. Okay, and prioritize them. A key to that preparation and prioritizing is do it at 3:30 in the afternoon. Kid you not. Write down 3:30 in the afternoon. Do it at 3:30 in the afternoon. Don't wait till 5 o'clock. Don't wait till your day is done. Prepare at 3:30 in the afternoon. 75% of people who wait to prepare at the end of the day don't do it. They stop preparing. They think they're going to remember it. They think they know it. They know it's a pressing issue. They're going to come in and handle it tomorrow, and then what happens tomorrow? Something else comes up. So prepare, write it down. Your 1 vital is your 1 thing that you've been putting off. Now remember, you can only put 1 thing on here, okay? 1 thing at a time. This doesn't mean that you have 6 things that you've been completely avoiding, putting off, procrastinating, and then all 6 of them go on the list. Work 1 at a time. Just do 1. okay? Like it can be anything. It's a themed thing. Like mine is my contacts. I have to put all my contacts in, and I've got to put them into 2 systems, right? My contact manager, my email, and I hate doing it. I'd much rather give that to an assistant and just put it in. So that goes on my vital for tomorrow. I have to get those in. If I don't get it done, it's not going to get done, right? And we'll keep on pressing, keep on issue. It'll be another issue and another issue and another issue till 1, you lose the contact, 2, you lose the relationship, and 3, you lose the card, right? And then you've lost it completely. And then you feel guilt, and you're not doing it right. What am I doing wrong? How come I'm not successful? The cycle goes on and on. So, preparation. Prepare yourselves for the next day. Know what you're going to do. Know where you're going to be. Know what appointments you have to have. And have them prepared. Don't come in the morning and try and get all your folders and your presentations and everything done that day. If you do, you're setting yourself up for failure because something else will come up. Get prepped the day before. Track your progress so that you know what you're doing well at and what you need improvement on. Okay. This is really a key because you don't want to beat yourself up. Okay. Because we're all our own worst critics, right? But you need to know what your weakness is and where you're doing really, really well at, okay? Because what it'll allow you to do is keep on moving toward what you're really good at. When you find what you are passionate about, you believe in, and what you're good at, man, dude, keep on doing that. Keep on doing it. Because it's going to make a huge difference in the way you feel, in what you're doing, your time, in your presentations. People pick up on it and they know it, okay? Analyze what you've learned so that you can grow from it. Don't do this every day, okay? This is not an everyday analyzation. This is like an every quarter and every year. You get to start picking out things that you've learned from. You know, if you're doing a campaign, you know, in the business, you know, what if we're doing an annuity or insurance campaign, whatever it is. And nothing came back or a lot of stuff came back. I'm going to analyze, did that work for me? What was it that worked for me? Why did it work for me? And how can I do more of it? If it didn't work, why didn't it work? Who do I need to be talking to? What didn't I do? And what am I really learning? Am I learning something about myself, developing myself, or am I learning something about the industry? I mean, you got all different aspects you've got to analyze, so that's why you only do it once a quarter, okay? And then reward yourself. And a big key here is do not mistake this for entitlement, okay? Don't go out and buy yourself a new purse or a new shoe, or for the men, whatever you men buy, but, you know, handbags, whatever it is, non-monetary, you know, golf books, I don't know, whatever it is. Don't go and buy yourself something as a reward. Give yourself something as a reward. Do something as a reward, okay? If your family, if you sit, how many say can raise their hand and honestly say that their family is the most important thing to them today? Okay? So your rewards, what can you do with your family? You know, where can you go? What can you do? Whatever it is. Just don't go out and buy yourself something once you hit that goal, okay? Those are for the big ones, like maybe annual or something like that. And here are 2 things to remember as well, okay? Remember to get the people in your life and your business, if you have assistants or other office managers or anything else like that, get them on board. Because what's going to happen is, if you follow the recipe, 1, it's going to work. And 2, you're going to have more free time. So as a result of that, you're going to feel guilty. And you're going to feel like you should be doing something more at your office. We're business owners. We don't need to clock the top, you know, we don't need to punch the clock and work 40 hours to have somebody pay our income, right? It's up to us. We do it. And so if we can do the same thing in 4, 5, 6 hours of the day instead of doing 8 hours of the day, do it and don't feel guilty about it, okay? You will have people question you. How do you do it? What are you doing? How come you're not at the office? Because the bottom line is you don't need to be. If you don't need to be there because you've gotten the things that you need to get done in an efficient way, then you get to live your free time guilt-free, right? And then the next thing to remember is that you work on purpose. Because the bottom line is, yes, I'm sure we all love what we do, but it is work, okay? with purpose and work on purpose. Don't forget why you're doing what you're doing, and have that passion and enthusiasm, because there have been plenty of days that, being an advisor, we all know what has happened in the last couple of years, right? Plenty of days where you want to pull your hair out, you don't want to show up, it's not worth it, nobody wants to talk to you, whatever it is. Get rid of that stigma and move forward. Do what you do, and do it to the best of your ability. You don't need to do 20 different things. You only need to be really good at a few, okay? A few. And know what those are. So I did just want, any questions? Okay. Couple books, favorite books of all time. They haven't changed in, I don't know, 20 years or so. Favorite books. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. If you haven't read it, read it, right? Please read it. It's just a really, really good book. If you want self-development and you want to be better at what you do, do it. And my favorite book of all time is a really simple read. Okay? Og Mandino, The Greatest Salesman in the World. Best book ever of all time. Simple book, do it, live it, love it, or don't. But this book could change your life. I mean, it could change your life, and it could change the way that you work. So, and the way that you see things in the perspective. And I want to really kind of briefly tell you, the reason I'm talking about this subject is, when I started my business, I was working, like I said, many, many hours, way too many hours. And when my son brought that to me, I decided to do this and work on this. I only work 20 hours a week, okay? I'm very successful at what I do, don't get me wrong, I'm very good, I have clientele, I went independent because of success, all this stuff, right? But I only work 20 hours a week, and I can get done what I need to get done. So if you think it doesn't work, try it. Try it, try it, try it, and see how it works for you. Just try it for 30 days. Couple little simple steps, try it for 30 days. If it doesn't work, kick it to the curb and try something else, okay? But thank you, that's all I have, and